Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus. Shout out to our producer, boy band John. What's up, John? BBJ. Okay, a few housekeeping notes. Shout out to our sponsor, Defend Hawaii. If you go on their website, order whatever you want, and upon checkout, go to use ATB Pod promo code, and you'll receive 15% off your entire order. defendhawaii.com, ATB Pod, 15% off your entire order. Okay, also Detail Garage Hawaii. If you want to clean your car, wax it, polish it, they have soaps, cleaning solutions for interior, exterior. DetailGarageHawaii.com, promo code ATB Pod, right there, chemical guys. 15% off your whole entire purchase order, ATB Pod upon checkout. And last but not least, HawaiiCandyCompany.com. Same thing, ATB Pod upon checkout. This one you'll receive 10% off your entire order. They have Lihimui Gushers, Lihimui Nerds, gummy worms. The whole gambit is super good. My daughter loves it, especially for the holidays. Great gift idea. Okay, that's out the way. So now today's guest, somebody I knew for years working in the industry. He was our MC at one point for about a decade. And he was basically the voice of Artist Group Network if you're ever in the club. So if you hear his voice, you know it's a party. It's my brother, KWON. What's up, KWON? How you been?
What's good? What's good? It's
How
been
you
a
been,
hot minute
man?
since I've seen you. I've been good, man. Been good. Work's been keeping me busy. I'm just glad, weddings and events can go back into play, man. It's been too damn long.
I know. I haven't seen you since before the pandemic.
Actually,
long
I
time.
did. Wait, were you not there? Oh no, you weren't there when I stopped by
District.
District. I keep wanting to call it Venus for some reason.
Hey,
Every
those
time,
days are the
I'm
best.
always like Venus. I'm like District.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't there when they reopened that one night. You were not there.
Yeah, I was off island, I think, that week. But we're open now, and I just heard that we might be at least being able to intermingle and also start dancing again. So we'll see how this weekend plays out. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It's been a minute since we got to do it. We did it for one time in July, and I got super lit. And funny story, Reed had to drive me home that night because I couldn't even Uber. I was so messed up.
Wow.
And you see me I'm in
2021 Thad was 2006 Thad.
Yeah, I was sideways. I was so happy that it reopened, and I thought I could drink like how I used to prior to the pandemic, and that was not the case.
Pre-pandemic, the way we used to drink, and when we reopened slightly, right? And then I went out drinking with some of the homies. I fight 7 shots in. I was like, oh, I'm feeling it already. I'm feeling it. I was like, bro, who am I? I used to count 12, 13, 14, 30 shots a night and get home safe. And pandemic just screwed that up for all of us.
Yeah, because during the pandemic, I would hang out with friends and stuff. I'll just do beers and maybe a celebratory shot here and there. Exactly. But we went back district one night and I was taking shots with everybody like how we used to. And sideways, throwing up in the toilet when I came home, not knowing how I came home. Apparently, I threw up in Reed's truck. I don't know.
Hopefully you were in the bed.
Nope.
Oh, see, that's when you know you boys. When you throw up inside the car and they don't get mad at you. That's when you know
my head was out the window, but I think some residue might have came.
Hey, there's no way you flying down the freeway and some Palu never get back inside the car.
Yeah.
What is that you're drinking? That's a big ass can, bro.
It's Above the Bridge tumbler. Shout out to Makoa
tumbler.
Customs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was a big ass can.
Yeah, John's brother hooked it up. He makes these, bro. Shout out to him. Go find him on Instagram.
How big is that?
I don't know what the I could fit 2 beers. That's
So
that's
24 ounces?
yeah. Yep, give or take. Yeah. So what, man? The pandemic hit. What have you been up to since the pandemic? I know you're doing a
Well,
lot of weddings prior, right? And
so
yeah, I
so
know
prior
that
to the
took a hit.
pandemic, I was working. Well, I still do work alongside Wild West, who
Right
started his
on.
own mobile company called From Above Entertainment. So I was working with them for a good 3 years, off and on, like like more part time, doing weddings, birthday party, graduation, stuff like that. And then the pandemic hit, and I just thank God I had my 9 to 5, my Monday through Friday jobs.
So you
For
were
those of you who don't,
oh no, go ahead.
for my 9 to 5, I work with diagnostic labs, where Thaddeus actually started working
Yep. Shout out
before
to
he
DLS.
before he went to his cancer care. Thad used to actually work for DLS also,
Yep.
at the Kailua location.
Yeah.
I'm a floater, so what I do is I cover the entire island. I used to work 6 days a week, but luckily during the pandemic, they they started getting everybody on a 5-day work week schedule,
Oh, that's
and
good.
they got all the base staff on it, and then the float staff they're trying to rotate in. Um, and then right when the pandemic hit, I got my 5-day work week. So that March, I started working 5-day work weeks. But crappy thing was they pulled me into the hospital. So I was working in
Oh,
the oh man, and I'm telling you right now, dude, the hospital setting during the pandemic was depressing.
oh,
You
I
know,
can imagine.
people because people could not see their loved ones.
Yeah.
Like the only people you interact with is your nurses, your doctors, the people that bring you food, and the guys
People
that stick you at
stabbing
3,
you.
4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I felt bad, like, because when they pulled me into the hospital last year, they had me working the overnight shift. So I was
I worked
working
that
from
and the
I
hospital.
was
That
yeah,
was
so
my
that's
that's when
11
I
to
started.
7. Oh
Yeah. I
man.
like that
And
shift
then
though.
well, pre-pandemic maybe it would have been cool, but pandemic
Yeah.
wise,
Oh
like
yeah.
having to don and doff, and just everybody's people are not in a good mood, man. Like
Yeah.
I never dealt with so much cursing from patients in my life until that, man.
Cause you gotta basically go into the room, wake them up, and then stab them with a needle.
And during from 11 to 3 wasn't too bad because it was time draws, right? So it was
Yeah.
only like here
Or
and there.
stats. Yeah.
Yeah, or stats, or if like something came into the ER. But from 3 to 7, that's the roving draws. And the roving draws is everybody goes floor to floor to floor. And during the pandemic, at one point, we had only 3 people till 6 o'clock, 3 or 4
Oh
people. So
wow.
imagine having 3 or 4 people drawing what each floor has what
Yeah.
6 beds.
Oh yeah, you do the
It was
rounds,
it
huh?
was
Yeah.
rough, man. It was rough, dude. And sometimes, like you said, patients, you waking patients up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, one guy was like, every day I just had to draw the same guy every day I come in, like, you fucking piece of shit. And, and there was one morning I had it. It was like the 6th day I had to draw him. And he was a prisoner. So he had a guard there, and
Oh.
then he's like cursing me up. And then I told him, you know what, bro? I'm sorry. I'm waking you up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. You think I want to do this? No, it's not my fault. Your ass got sick. You came to the hospital, and this is what the doctors are ordering. And by the way, why are you going to swear at the person who's about to puncture you with a sharp
Exactly.
object? Why? Like it blew my fucking mind on why they did that.
That's
Like,
why you
and,
get
and
you
he
keep you keep
he
the dull rusty
paused.
needles on the side and use those.
He paused and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you got to think about it. You're handcuffed to the bed. It's my job to stick this needle into your arm. If you make me mad, Oops, I missed.
Maybe I miss.
And he's like, oh, you know what? I never thought about that. I was like, yeah, just there's two people in this world you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
The people who handle your food and the people who are gonna poke you with sharp objects.
Fuck yeah. Bruh, working DLS at night shift at Queens, I enjoyed it because I would make friends with all the nurses.
Yeah.
And come Thanksgiving, Christmas, like that, I would get on plate from each nurse's station. I would have food for days.
I can imagine pre-pandemic, but pandemic-wise, unfortunately, there was none of that. But I mean, the nurses were all cool. Like they'd come, hey, how are you? Voila, you know.
Bruh, you know what I've noticed when I was working graveyard at Queens is the Korean patients grouchy as fuck until they find out you're Korean also. Then they're your best friends, bro. So if I look at the name and it's Korean, I'll be like, hi, I'm Thaddeus Park. And they'll be like, oh, Korean, yes. Oh, different kind of attitude, bro. Oh, if you don't,
I do that at outpatient clinics too, right? So I'll see the name. Sometimes you cannot tell because they're married to like a Japanese or a white person, right? But you look at them and you know, when you look at a Korean, you know. Yeah. Or if you look at their names, you'll see like Hyung Suk Park, Hyung Suk Smith. Or Hyung Suk Yamaguchi. It's like Yamaguchi's Japanese, but Hyung Suk that not Japanese. So I'll listen for the accent, right? And then I'll go in and like I'll speak English at first just to hear them. Oh, hey, my name's KWON. I'm here to draw your labs. And then as soon as I hear the accent, I'll be like, oh, single on jail. And just start talking to me Korean, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, 한국분? I was like, yeah. Like, and I tell them, oh, 미안해요, 한국말 여기 태어났으니까 한국말 조금밖에 알아요. Which, if you don't speak English, guys, I was born here, so I only speak a little Korean. So I'm not fluent in Korean, but I know enough for basic conversations, and I understand a shit ton more because here in my household, that's all they speak, right? My parents. But
that's good. I don't know anything.
And I tell everybody, I'm a Korean from Waianae. I am more Chi-hu than I am kimchi. You ask me if I like lao lao or kalbi, I'd be like, brother, give me the lao lao any day.
Yep. You the moat Korean. That's right. You're from Waianae. I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
Maili boy, man. Maili. Well, so little backstory on the areas I grew up. When I was preschool, I lived in the ghetto ass apartments behind Safeway in Waipahu. So if you're familiar with that, that's the one that if you're going up the road to Kunia, that Safeway that used to be there. Why is my camera moving? But I used to live in those apartments, and in first grade or kindergarten, first grade, I moved to Kalihi. So from Kalihi, I lived there till 6th grade. Then 7th grade on, we moved out to Waianae. And I tell everybody, I grew up in all the fucking ghettos of Oahu.
Well, you're definitely battle tested. I know that. Plus, you used to help run a liquor store in Waianae.
Yeah. Well, that was actually my first job growing up. Was in elementary school. We actually had a store in Kalihi also. So if you're familiar with Kalihi area, you know where Ray's Cafe is now?
No.
You know where New City Nissan is, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple blocks away from there, so you see New City Nissan, you got Gulick, then you got Cupcake. So our store was on the corner of Cupcake and Waterhouse Street. And it was in this 2-story little building. And we had that corner store. And so we had that building that unit. And then my parents took over another unit in the back and we had a game room. So in elementary school, I was the coolest kid in the block because I had a game room. Well, back then Lihimui wasn't too big, right? Like everybody liked Lihimui, but I had free soda, free candy. I had a game room. Like people would come over. Oh, let's go to your game room.
Oh, that's true. That's what the kind had Space Invaders. Asteroids,
what did we have? We had
Street
Skate or
Fighter.
Die.
Oh, I remember that one.
We had NBA Jam. We had Rhaegar.
Oh,
We had Shinobi. And I think
Shinobi. That was my
we
game.
had Street Fighter 2. And we also had the Neo Geo games.
Oh,
So we had like I forget what games we had for that, but it was kids would come up and hey, trying to make best friends with me. I'm like, I don't want keys for the game, bro. I'm elementary school. You think my dad him go give me the keys to this game?
the push the credit button, huh? So wait, okay. So I met you. I don't even remember. I met you at Venus. I kind of think.
So
How did you get started in the industry?
Okay, so the way I started in the industry was 2000. Well, 99, 2000, I started working at Chili's at Pro Ridge. So I was a server bartender at Chili's. And then we'd go out drinking. Well, I was clubbing since I was like 16, going to like Maharaja, Blue Zebras, and Eurasias and all that, right? So
World Cafe.
So in 99, 2000, we just used to go clubbing, go all over. And 2000, I started working. Was it 2000? 99 or 2000? I started working at Pachinko's. So for Pachinko's, if people don't know where that is, if you know where V Lounge is or the lounge, that used to be called Pachinko's. It was a total separate entity from Venus nightclub. It was its own little bar. Because Mama there, she needed, security and help with people parking on the street. So we just drink and we'd sit at the door and get paid, right, to drink. and then I was already, clubbing at Venus, so I knew all the security, the staff there. And there was a guy. So back in 2000, Venus used to actually have a sushi chef. There's a guy named Darren. There was a guy named Darren who was running the sushi chef, the sushi bar with another company. I forget what company it was they're called, but if you guys know Grant Kawasaki, the celebrity chef that passed away September, he was one of the guys, him, Norlin, I can't remember, I think his name was Greg. They were kind of like I want to say they were Supreme Sushi. I can't remember the name exactly. But the guy Darren was working with them. He was running that. He brought me on board as a sushi chef. And back then, I was homophobic AF, right? I was the guy who would be like teasing, oh, how's it brought? Just being a total dick to all of them.
Because it was a gay club at the time.
So back then, they had gay nights 2 nights a week. So they had Thursday nights and Saturday nights. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sundays, it was regular nights. And so Thursdays, Saturdays was the gay crowd. And I started working there, and they had the male reviews. So the male strippers and whatnot. And I used to go work, and all like Darius them would come up to me, hey, what's up? And I'm like, I'd hold out my sushi knife. Hey, don't talk to me till you put your pants on, bro.
Well, yeah, all those guys used to dance. I even read.
Yeah. So they used to all like laugh about it, right? And then I did that with Darren for maybe a good 4 months. He kept making like promises and saying that, like he was asking me to find girls, right? So find sushi girls and some models, because he wanted to do, and this is 2001, guys. This was about 2001, before naked sushi was even a thing. He wanted to bring that to Hawaii. So he was asking me to help find these models, right? Or these girls who would be willing to do that. And I had girls lined up because I worked in the clubs already. So I had contacts, right? So, and he was making all these promises, and he's like, oh, next month we're gonna break off. Next month we're gonna break off. And it never happened. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm done. I'm done with you. And then Venus was in need of security, so they asked me to help security. While doing that, I was like, I told again, homophobic AF, right? I told the general manager, whose name was KWON at the time. So I told KWON and Reed, I mean not Reed, Richie.
Richie Aki.
Whatever
right.
you do, and then the head of security back then was this guy named Big John. I told him, whatever you guys do, bro, no schedule me on the F word night, if you guys know what I mean. I'm not gonna say it because you guys know what I mean when I say the F word when it comes to that specific scene. And they're like, okay, we can do that. We can do, just give us like 4 nights a week. I was like, okay, I can do all the straight nights, whatever. And we went from having like 20 bouncers to having 7. so unfortunately, I had to start, working 6 nights a week at the club, right? And it was like, oh man. So they scheduled me at, those nights, and I told them, okay, where's the one place I can think of where I'm going to have minimum contact with these people? I like, put me at the VIP room. Just put me at the VIP room. All I got to do is stand there and make sure they get the VIP band, open the door for them, let them in.
That's when it was glass, right?
That's when it was a glass wall.
Yeah, I remember.
So if you guys know District now, when you come into District and you turn left, there's that bar there, right?
Yeah.
So that bar used to be part of the VIP room, and there was couches in there. I think there was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 or 8 couches in there. And well, the way the bar's set up now, it's shallow because that room was deeper.
And it was elevated a little bit too, right?
It was like a step up.
A step up. Yeah.
And so I was, doing that and just, checking bands and letting them in the VIP room, opening the door for them. And then one night I dropped something and I bent over to pick it up, and somebody may have accidentally touched my butt. Just say accidentally. I don't know what happened.
Might have been on purpose.
It might have been on purpose, might have not been, but I, being the homophobic asshole, found the first person I saw that was near me within arm's length, and I cracked him.
Oh, I didn't hear this story.
With the flashlight in my hand, like, oh, you fuck, you got my ass. And it was big commotion, bro. Big commotion.
Oh, you're going to take on the Armada.
And then they're like, oh, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. So I was like, you know what? Next week, then just put me VIP line. Just put me VIP line, easy. So I started doing the front door, and they moved me from the VIP line to the regular. Stop moving, damn it! Sorry, my camera's freaking out.
Oh, good.
So eventually, I started doing the regular line, checking IDs, because ID checking was already a thing for me, from liquor store to restaurants, everything. So I could see fake IDs like before you even put it in my hand. So I started doing that, and then Free them would do promotions. So would have slow nights, like Thursday nights, Tuesday nights was slow for Venus. So we would do stuff, or even Monday nights. I think we had like some local music nights, and we just started trying to push all different nights of the week. And so I started working with DJ Free for his company, Freak Flow Entertainment, to kind of help promote the club. And we did a bunch of other stuff. We did, Venus. We did, what was Sean's place? It was Grumpy's, and then after Grumpy's, it was
Grumpy's. It was
so when Sean Ohashi took it
Blue
over.
Ocean something.
Blue something.
Yeah.
So we started doing like Island Voices there, and so we was doing stuff like that. So again, just bouncing and helping with promotions. And Free was telling me, he's like, dude, you got the personality, you're articulate, you speak well. I see the way you interact with people, you're a people person. Why don't you become an MC for us and do this? And back then I was like, nah, I'm not the guy to be in the limelight. I hate being in the light. I just like being the asshole at the front door, get, drink and whatnot. And one night, well, I want to say it was at Venus, I was drinking a little too much, and he put the mic in my hand, and ever since then, I've been pretty much doing it.
Well, you've been a fixture at Venus for years, like until
so after Venus.
that's how I met you, huh?
Yeah, so we met at Venus. I did other stuff here and there too. Once in a while, like I would go because I work at the club, so other promoters or other MCs would, oh, here, talk about here. So I ended up doing like Bombastic Tuesdays at Pipeline and all these other places. But so interesting fact for those of you who don't know me, my MC name is Don, or the Don KWON. The reason I came up with that was when I first started in the industry, Free was saying we had to come up with a nickname for you. I was like, dude, just call me Quan. They're like, no, but Quan doesn't have a ring. You have to have like an MC name, like my name. We're not gonna. Well, his name's John. He's like, you don't see me going by DJ John. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, but he goes, oh, so what do people call you? And growing up, because I was the only Korean growing up in all the places I lived, and I was kind of nuts. Everybody called me the Crazy Korean or Crazy K. And I was like, oh, well, my nickname's Crazy K. And he's like, oh, we can't call you that. I was like, why not? And he goes, oh, there's already a DJ named Crazy K. So Kevin Akatake, his name is Crazy K. And I was like, well, if Dr. Dre can do it, why can't Crazy K's do it? Right? And like, no, we cannot. We cannot. I'm like, bro, there's fat Dr. Dre who doesn't rap, and there's a rapper Dr. Dre. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we cannot. So I was like, fuck, whatever then, just come up with a name for me. And me and this guy Troy, whenever we saw each other, we'd be like, hey, what up, T-Roy? He'd be like, hey, what up, KWON? My other friend John, we'd be like, hey, Jay on, we just did stuff like that, right? So one night Free was like, and I came to the club for one of the promotions. Back then, I used to dress kind of fucking gaudy. I had a fat silver chain, fat, big ass pendant. And one night I was wearing like a turtleneck. I don't know why. It was fucking hot in Hawaii. We do stupid shit, right? And he's like, dude, you dress like a Don. And like Don KWON. So that's how my name came about. So the Don KWON came about because Free, he started calling me that. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So kind of stuck with that since then.
So for me, when I met you at Venus, and then apparently we started a promotion there at one point, which was Recess. And
so I think the first time I met you was because I think you teamed up with Brian. Didn't you guys team up at one point with Island Fire?
Yeah, that was
Ryan
Recess.
Chang? Yeah.
Yep, that was Recess. So we started a Wednesday night promotion, and they let us go 18 and over. And you were like the resident MC. And you, when you were MCing, were like a MC / security. Because anytime something popped off, you were there. And
well, because I was doing security work. So it was already instilled in my head that you're security too. But even though I wasn't security, I would help out with security.
Yes. And our first night ever at Venus, I got into it with somebody because he was stealing money from the tip jar for the bartenders. Ended up punching him and getting into some stuff. And this was my first night there, and I wasn't too known with the security. So when the security grabbed me, they just thought I was a patron getting into a fight, and you stopped them from kicking me out and everything. And ever since then, I was like, okay, I already knew you, but I was like, Quan's part of the security staff and the MC. And then we took that promotion running. Like Recess was by far one of the most craziest events I've ever done. It was
Recess was fun.
Recess was illegal.
Well, no, because back then clubs were 18 and over, right? Like back in the days, clubs were 18 and up.
But you were supposed to drink if you're 18. Saying anybody did, but
we don't, bro. They had bands. Hey. We don't know if they were 18 or not.
But Fima was the head of security, and him and I had Fima was
security then. Okay.
And I had a good relationship with him, and you were the MC. But those nights at Recess, there was a lot of crazy situations. It was the most packed Venus Bend throughout the whole week. Like Wednesdays was their busiest night. We would have the line,
which is weird, right? Like
Yeah.
like the club scene now, and I hate to say it because we're industry, but the club scene now, it's fucking doo. It's garbage, and I hate to say it because you guys are still in it.
Yeah.
And that's that's some of you guys.
District is the best. District is cool, but there's nothing else.
You compare the clubs now to the clubs back then, bruh, or the parties, just the parties in general back then. Nothing. It's the parties now are lame compared to when we were partying. It was ranging 7 nights a week. You could go
multiple venues. Yeah.
7 nights a week, something was always popping.
Did you know that when we were doing recess, I didn't realize that behind the DJ booth was a change dressing room. Remember that?
So the way the club used to be was there was a dance floor, there was a DJ booth, which was on a stage, and behind the stage was a curtain.
Yep.
And behind the curtain, so there was a storage room area. So that's when it was Venus. So that's where all the dressing and undressing would happen for the drags, for the male review guys. That's where all the magic happened.
Well, the magic happened for us too, just on a straight night, on a regular night. We'd go back there.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about, that.
Bro, recess was crazy. Like the amount of crap that happened, like that was one of my funnest parties. There was a lot of just fun. It was fun, and a lot of people came to that. And it was always like DMBs had something going on. We had something going on, and O Lounge had something going on. But our party started like at 10 and raged. But then when all the other places closed, it was like the perfect storm. And I remember like seeing steam come out the door because it was freaking so much people and it was hot. And you were like in the front, and no matter how packed the front was with people trying to get in, and you guys would tell me, Thad, don't go outside. You're gonna, like, people are just gonna try to get you. And you just stood there and just screamed, back up. And everybody just parted. I'm like, fucking KWON, got the KWON, because
I definitely back then I was an ass, man. I was an asshole.
Yeah, but like to us, you're brought a KWON. Like for everybody else, like, oh, I wouldn't want that guy to be mad at me.
Well, back then too, like I was a lot bigger, so I was a lot bigger back then. Like size wise, I was probably another person.
But your voice, bro, it could just part the sea of people. Like when you stood outside the club and said move, like people move. I could yell move for 20 minutes and no one would take a step. You would get the whole place to go where you wanted them to do. Plus you're emceeing, and for an MC, I tried once. I can't do it. Like you got to know the breaks. You got to know how to pop the club. You got to know how to manipulate the club to go get a drink and make us money, and you're just good at all of that stuff.
So that's what the MC does. We work with, we read the crowd. We work with the DJ. We're like, hey, too many people are dancing, not enough drinking. Let's kind of mellow it out. So that's what we would start doing is, and people would be wondering why are you guys playing like ragers and all of a sudden you're playing shitty music? It's because of that. The bar needs to be pushed. So we push the bar. So we do that, and then we come back to the ragers and whatnot. And people never understood that. They'd come up to us and be like, hey, why are you guys playing such shitty songs? And me being the fucking asshole I was, I'd be like, bruh, don't tell us how to do our jobs, bro. I don't come to McDonald's. I don't tell you how you flip your burgers, bro. No,
you say that. I don't go to your job and tell you how to flip burgers. I remember that.
And it was one night I again, back then I was kind of a dick, and I'm not gonna say what ethnic background he was, but I told him, bro, I don't come to KFC and tell you how to fry your chicken. Like I did stupid shit like that all the time.
See, it's weird for me because I never saw you as a dick because you was never dick to me. or any of us. You know what I mean? Like
So that's why I always tell people I'm the fucking biggest oxymoron you'll know. I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet.
I definitely seen you be an asshole, but it was never to me.
Well, to the fam, it's fam, right? You gotta be a dick to fam.
But it was warranted most of the times. So as we progressed through our nightclub career, I brought you with us when I could, you know what I mean? Like whenever we had a gig and it would be allowed for us to use an MC, like you were our guy, like became the voice of Artist Groove, and you hyped our parties up. And for years, and we've done multiple events, venues. We even did KWON. You came with us to KWON, right?
A couple times.
Yeah, KWON is nuts though. When we went to KWON, I had fun in KWON because I didn't
grill.
That was it, and nobody knew us, so it's like perfect. We can't get in trouble.
Oh, we did though.
Oh yeah. KWON was fun because the people the girls there were very very happy we were there. The guys not so much. So when we go back, they would like mug us, like just be like mad. But everybody else seemed to like us.
That's because they was trying to get with the honeys, and we wasn't doing shit, but the honeys was paying attention to us. Because why? You guys was throwing a party. I had the mic in my hand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this, guys, right now. For all you ugly fuckers out there, if you look like me and you're not handsome, hold on to a mic in a club. That's all you gotta do.
You were very popular with
I was like 280 pounds at one point, man. My heaviest, I was pushing 290s, and I was still pulling chicks.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was never an issue. And you had long hair. I remember that.
Well, I hope you remember that, because it was a special event at Oceans.
Oh yeah. But now what? You're completely bald.
Yeah, so I started cutting my hair in 2014. Because I was trying to get in with Hawaiian Airlines. And I still apply here and there. I really need to work on my resume because I really want to, get into flight attendant or traveling, basically, because I want to be able to send my parents, to Korea for cheap, right? Because traveling is expensive these days.
Oh yeah.
So I started cutting my hair short, and then one day I noticed a thin patch. I started seeing flesh.
Oh.
And if you ever seen the movie or the TV series How I Met Your Mother, there was an episode where Marshall, it was for his wedding, right? He trusted somebody to do something to his hair, and he was looking in the mirror. He wasn't happy. And he just like grabbed the buzzer and went straight down the middle. That's basically what I did. I saw the thin patch, and I was like,
I'm never gonna get used to you bald, bro.
Well, I still don't. I'm not used to me being bald, and I've been doing it since 2014. I would just buzz it, so it would be stubble.
Well, even now with your hat, I assume the ponytail's in the back.
Oh yeah. I wear the hat because it's iconic. It's the iconic KWON look, right?
Yeah. So you came with us, and we did. Well, for a long run, we had Oceans, correct? And you were our MC at Oceans, and we teamed up with Level H and No Way Out, and you became the voice of Oceans. And all our events there were fun, and it was nothing crazy like Recess, because it was in 18 and over, but it was we had a long run there, and you were the MC. I recall one night, we thought you had a heart attack. Do you remember that?
No. So we went to take a photo, and while taking a photo, and everyone like, "Oh, smile." I tried to smile, and I noticed, like the whole night, I kept kind of feeling weird. Like I was feeling kind of off, and so when we went to take a photo, and I couldn't smile, half my face wasn't moving. And I should have told you, like after the photo, I went up to you and thought, like, Dad, I need to go. We need to go to the hospital right now because I think I'm having a stroke.
Yeah, true.
And that's when I was like pushing like 280, 290. And I thought I was having a stroke. So I had you guys take me to ER. I
Yeah.
believe it was you and I think it was you and Taylor.
I know I definitely drove I remember
Yeah.
because I got to drive your car. And I
Yeah.
was like,
So
oh
I think
shit,
it
I get
was
to
you and
drive Kwan's car.
I believe it was you and Taylor because somebody had to pick you back up from the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I ended up having what's called Bell's palsy. So for those of you who don't know what Bell's palsy is, it's a strain of herpes. And by herpes, I don't mean a STD, like a cold sore. A cold sore is a strain of herpes. For people hear herpes and automatically they assume
Yeah.
it's an STD. There's different types of herpes. So what this particular strain of herpes does is it's a neurological thing. It attaches to the end of your nerves, paralyzing it, and basically it's usually a facial function thing, right? So half my face, like I couldn't smile, like it'd be like this, or like one eye would be like. Actually, if you look, one of my eyes is always smaller than the other because I've never really gained full control. I mean, it's a lot better now, but like because of the Bell's palsy, I never really was. Well, I already have small eyes because I'm Korean, but it's even smaller now because of the Bell's palsy, and I actually had it twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I had it again. I want to say it was like 2014, 2015, and they think some people think it's lack of sleep. Some people think it's stress related. They really don't know what causes Bell's palsy, but back then, so after that first time, I thought it was a weight thing. So I started kind of trying to change a lifestyle. Hence why, like, I would stop late night eatings. So I went down from I want to say my heaviest was like 292.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, I was pretty big, bro. And I told all my boys then, I was like, bro, if I ever hit 300, please do me a favor and shoot. Like, I don't want to be 300 pounds. And I mean, nothing against big boys, right? But it was just me. I didn't want to be that big. So I went from 292 and I dropped between 247 to like 250. I would bounce between 240s and 250s. And I was struggling with that for a long time, man. Again, it was just, quitting the late night eating, stop drinking a lot of soda. Because, back then, bro, we worked the clubs. Free soda, free Red Bull all night, right?
Oh, yeah. The best things for your heart. Alcohol and sugar and caffeine.
Right.
Yeah. But for me, I remember that it was a scare and it kind of woke up a bunch of us like, oh, bro, like Kwan's kind of shaking right now. And I remember going back to Oceans just like thinking like, oh, this fucking guy, he better not keel over. Like, and like for us, like me and Chris and Taylor, like we were all sitting outside for the rest of the night, just hoping that everything was okay. And that was a scary night for us. I mean, obviously for you too, but I remember that night super clear. Like we were all shaken up.
I definitely was really scared because I should have told you about like, I think I gotta go here. I think I'm having a stroke.
I remember. But we did have a lot of fun, and you were our MCU. I mean, we had a lot of crazy nights at Oceans. I mean, we seen Chris come in with his Santa suit, which became a fucking
every year, right? It became a ritual.
We just made him do it. Chris, you gotta wear it this year.
He hated that shit too, bro. That's a funny.
But he would always put it on and grab like 3 chicks. It would just be his thing, like fucking Santa again. But we had theme nights and a whole, but like you said, like our events and the whole club scene was a lot more fun. Just the parties when you're there, the vibe is so much fun. And I always say this on every single episode that it's different now because you don't have to go out to meet people. You can do it on your phone wherever you are. But it's disappointing for the younger people now because they don't get to experience that kind of fun. I'm sure they have their own type of fun, but I feel like it's not as fun.
It's not as fun. One, because I honestly feel like the state or whoever is really trying to wean out the liquor scene or the late night scene. If you notice, Waikiki, there's no clubs anymore. You have
Yeah.
Sky, which really isn't a club,
Yeah.
and you have Play Bar. Everything else is the bar, the hotel bars or whatnot. There's
Yeah.
really no, and they're just making it impossible to get liquor licenses for certain areas, right? So I honestly feel like the state or just in general, they're trying to weed out the club scene.
I mean, it's working. There's pretty much just district house, if you consider that a club, but it's a supper club. There's sushi and stuff there, but other than that, there's no addiction. There's no shit. What else is there? There's nothing, right? There's I don't know. I
You
do
just
you
have
ever
all these
see
bars.
do you ever seeing Hawaii going back to that era where there's multiple clubs and people can go club
Yes,
hopping?
I feel like it will come up around again. It's just I don't foresee it anytime soon
It's a big risk too
because
for somebody to own a club because
well, that's the thing, right? Lawsuits. A lot of people these days are so quick to sue.
yeah,
Whether it's if somebody drinks too much and drives home and they get into an accident, who's at
you
fault? The
overserved them.
club
Yeah.
is. Yeah, the club is the bartender who served him. The establishment he came from. But it should also be that person's fault. But no, they're gonna push it to the club, and it's sad, man. It really is. Back in our days, we took action. If we did something, we took responsibility.
Sometimes. Yeah, no, we owned up to pretty much everything. At least I did.
And that's the other thing
If I
too,
got
right?
caught, nah.
The scene back then was totally different. Like people would scrap,
Oh yeah.
we win or lose, we'd go inside, we drink. Hey, you my best friend next week I see you. Now it's
For real.
you scrapped my brother last week, you lick him. Then they lick him, right? It's like
Yeah, or pull gun or something.
people are just too vindictive.
Yeah. It's crazy nowadays too. Like, especially even with that kind of situation, people pull gun or knife and or they, yeah. So
Back
it's
then, this was our weapon, bro.
still is, but then you're gonna lose because they're gonna have something else.
Or they're gonna have boys.
Yeah, yeah.
You should know that. You should know.
Oh yeah.
This was your
definitely.
weapons back then. Remember Cirque?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. You were MC for that too, right?
Yeah.
And all you guys came and bailed me out, right? You guys all I remember coming out of the jail, and I had a paper moon suit because they wouldn't let me put my clothes back on. And the whole club was in the parking lot. All you fuckers. And
I think there was
fuck
like
it.
12 of us waiting for you outside
Yeah.
the door.
And it was like, yeah. And everybody else was in the parking lot. And I'm like, oh shit. And like the sun was coming up. I was like, oh, they bailed me out. I was so happy, but so ashamed because I was in this paper moon suit. I always forget about the dumb shit. Cirque was a fun party though.
It was.
That was what a circus show theater, and we turned the lobby into a club.
Yeah, so it was kind of like Cirque du Soleil, but not actual Cirque du Soleil, right? It was kind of that theme.
Yeah.
So they had like the little round thing where people would swing from and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I remember the security would have to hoist them up, right?
Some fun science, man.
What else venues did you do with us?
The one that was at Hilton Hawaiian Village.
Which one was that? Cabaret?
It had Cabaret.
Oh, that was kind of like
that was
theater. That was
a theater thing too, where they
that was when
Cabaret
they
show,
ran out of
right?
Yeah, they ran out of Crown the first night. I'm like, what the fuck? Like we told you.
I swear they only had like 4 or 5 bottles of Crown for the whole night.
And we're like, bruh, we sold that many bottles, like just to one table. Like we're just, I tell them like, okay, our crowd drinks Crown, Patron, Grey Goose. Have that. And they're like, oh, like the first hour, like, oh, we're running out of Crown. I'm like, how is that possible? Yeah.
I did that with you guys. Oceans, Cirque, Rob's Good Time Grills, a
Yeah.
couple stuff at Lotus. When you guys did Lotus, I did a couple of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
Um, shit, pretty much. I went with you guys with a lot of stuff. So
W, did you ever do W with us? Or that was before
I
Venus,
didn't
think.
I didn't do W. That was before Venus. But I would, because you guys had back then. You guys had Sean D. Sean D was with you guys back then. But
That's
I would
right.
come into W, and you guys would always take care of me. But and of course, industry being industry, MC being seeing other MCs, they'll hand the mic over and stuff. So I did.
Yeah.
I MC couple of stuff, like not really scenes.
You just jump on the mic.
Like, yeah, jump on the mic here and there.
What about, let's see, what else, sir? Hush? Did you do Hush?
I did Hush with you guys.
I remember,
At the
yeah.
Fix.
Yeah.
The Fix.
Oh, the Fix. That was kind of the Fix was one of my favorite venues. Not the most lucrative, but Mike, the owner, is like one of my closest friends, and he's fucking crazy. Like that guy is the most funnest owner to work for and with. Like he's down. Mike is down for whatever. Yeah,
I knew Mike because back then they used to own the family owned Blue Tropics.
Yeah,
so that's when I first met Mike. Yeah, so I met Mike and his brothers. Was it Mike, Steve, and what is their older brother's name? I can't even remember.
Start with a D. Derek? No. Darren.
Well, Darren was the manager, right?
No, that's his brother.
Oh no, yeah. Well, because they called the guy Lugs. His name was Darren too, but they would call him Lugs.
Yeah.
And then that's actually
Mikey would talk me into leaving our event and doing crazy shit.
Other stuff.
Yeah, we end up at Michelle's or some shit. And be like,
I remember, where did Thad go? Where the fuck did Thad go? It's like 12 o'clock. I haven't seen Thad for like an hour. Where the fuck is he? Yeah. Oh, he wanted Mike. I was like, oh, those fuckers not even at their own event.
Yeah, Mikey was good fun. But you were one of our, like, part of our staff. Like, you were always with us. It was
pretty much.
Those nights were so much fun because, like you said, the party was a different vibe and it was fun. I hope we can recreate that again, especially now.
It's hard now because if you think about now, everyone is so social status.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be the next socialite. Everybody wants to be the next Instagram famous person, the next TikTok star. Back then it was just party. It was just have a good time, mingle, meet people face to face.
Yeah, you'd have to get the ball. Exactly. You'd have to get the balls to walk up to somebody and be like, hey, can I buy you a drink? Or can you come to our event? Or it's like, and now I look like half the people in the club are on their phones showing people they're at the club. I'm like, enjoy that you're there. Exactly. I remember
that's all you see, bro.
The Spocom party, and we had all these import models, and they're all in the VIP, and they're all on their phones, and like they're in their own world, like taking a shot with their phone and showing everybody they're in the VIP. I'm like, you're not even enjoying the moment. You're not even enjoying the atmosphere. You're just too busy trying to show people you're in the atmosphere. Like, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? I can understand taking a picture or whatever, but it's not that important. Enjoy the moment.
That's the downside of technology, man. Like, people are too focused, very nose deep into their phones to realize what's going on. Back in our days, you made friends by going up to another table, buying rounds, talking to people.
Yeah.
Now it's right swipe, left swipe, right swipe, left swipe.
And it's scary. It's scary to go up to a girl and be like, hey, I'm Thaddeus. Can I buy you a drink? And they'd be like, oh no. It's like, okay, never mind. I'm just kidding. The next person.
I mean, don't get me. It is very, and a lot of people are afraid of rejection, right? And it is what it is, Guess what a left swipe is, guys? Rejection. If you right swipe the chick and she don't right swipe you back, that's rejection. But because it's not face to face, you don't care. And that's
Exactly.
the like, and that's society these days, man. And sad to say, that's basically what's defined. They're the reason what defines what sexy is, what's good looking
Yeah.
is the internet. The internet is what makes people think this is sexy, this is good. Oh, that girl has eyelashes 5 inches away from her face. That's hot. That's not. That's not.
Yeah. And two is like, okay, what if Instagram crashes, or what if like there's no internet for a day? It's like,
Did you
oh,
do you
so
remember
you
when everything went down? Facebook went
yeah,
down for
yeah,
like how long?
yeah.
People didn't know what the fuck to do with themselves. And
Go
everyone on TikTok was
outside.
like, well, TikTok's around. Like, go outside, talk to people. Go stand on the corner, just act stupid. Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of shit we used to do growing up.
Oh yeah, 100%. So as you kind of got older and kind of navigated away from the clubs, not that you're fully out because I'm trying to bring you back in, but how was the transition from going to club MC to weddings? For one, there's pressure because people's trusting their whole lifelong dream event of getting married to you, who's the MC that controls the whole show. Like that's a lot
So
of pressure.
when I first got approached with it, Wes and his wife approached me. He was already going into his second year of his business as From Above Entertainment mobile company. And he was like, we've been really picking up, and it's hard with just me as an MC. I can only do so much weddings in a day, but we're getting multiple, people asking, are you, when we started getting busy, he's like, well, him and Julie was talking. Is like when we started getting busier, we started talking about who would we want to use as an MC. And Wes straight up said, right off the back, I said your name because I've worked with you in the past. We have similar MC styles because we both learned from Free. So we both got our MC life, our MC experience from Free. So he was both Wes and my mentor as an MC.
Well, you
And
guys
again, our
definitely
work,
both are definitely different club MCs because Wes was a
yes,
crazy, crazy dude. You were fun. Wes was nuts. Like he's sometimes out of control.
hence the name Wild Wild West.
I'm surprised he's a wedding MC, but I could see how he's very creative.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
again, so are you.
So when he started thinking about it, he asked me, he's like, we need another MC. Will you work with us? And I should have told him, dude, no, I know nothing about fucking weddings. He's like, it's the same thing as a club. I was like, no, it's not. The club, we don't have to do shit if you don't want to. Like, you just say things here and there. The wedding, all eyes are on you. Like, I know nothing about weddings. By that time I had done 2 weddings, and they were both friends. They were both for free, and I was drunk as fuck. So it was a bunch of friends. It was nothing professional about it, right? It's all friends who knew who I was. They knew how crazy I would get on the mic, and
They knew what they're getting into.
Yeah. So, but it's different when it's a total stranger, right? So I was like, I don't know about that. And at that time, I was working at Artistry. So I was working at Artistry, and kind of trying to get out of the 4 o'clock lifestyle because I'm getting old. You know what I mean? 4 o'clock is late. Plus, I had my day job, and being, I couldn't. And DLS, it's a profession, right? It's not like working 7-Eleven. It's not working at McDonald's. I'm not teasing, to this people who work at those for jobs. It was an actual profession. Like, it's a skill set, and I couldn't be going out to 4 o'clock in the morning and going to work the next day because in order to handle a sharp object being poked into another person, you need to be coherent.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you put me in a scene, there's no way I'm gonna be. I'm not gonna drink.
Yo.
So I had to kind of like wean myself out of it. So he had asked me. I think that was 2000. I was working from so that was about 2016, 2017. He asked me. and like I already was kind of trying to get out of the club scene. So I left artistry. Then I was like, you know what? I started getting bored just with my 9 to 5. And again, back then I was working 6 days a week at DLS. And even though DLS kept me busy, the night I would be bored as fuck because I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I need, and of course DLS wasn't, I don't make enough money at DLS just to live my lifestyle. I eat out a lot. I buy a lot of tech kind of crap. So like DLS pays good, but not enough to just pay everything I need. So
Or
I started, or one, I should say, right? So I kind of, probably about 4 or 5 months in after, and Wes would consistently every week, so what you thought about it, we need the money. So about 4 or 5 months in, I hit him up one day. I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about it. I've been praying about it a lot. And I don't know what I'm doing yet. So I'm not going to say yes, but let me shadow you for a few weddings or a few parties and see what it's like, in the professional scene, right? So I went with him to a couple weddings. He talked to one of the weddings. He talked to the bride and groom and said, he introduced me to them and who I was, and that he wanted to bring me on as another MC, and I'm going to shadow him and jump on the mic here and there if they're okay with it. And they were fine. They were okay with it. So I did that wedding with him, and I kind of, it's not too different from the clubs. Honestly, it's not, because in the clubs, all eyes are on you. Yes. So a bunch of strangers. Yes. They're drinking. They're not really paying attention. Same thing at a wedding. They don't really care what the MC says and does. There's only certain key parts where they're actually really paying attention to the MC. And I was like, okay, I can kind of do this. So I still do kind of some fun stuff like Wes them do, but I'm not as crazy as Wes or, like Vic them, right? Those fuckers is nuts. I swear, those fuckers are nuts. But I we'll do fun stuff here and there, crazy things, but not too crazy. Still trying to keep it professional yet fun and entertaining.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I think Wes got a good guy with you, and hopefully weddings pick up now that things are kind of loosening up. I know Wes was very boisterous and kind of bringing the wedding industry back. And I had him on the show, and he's very passionate about what he does. And
yes,
he's always passionate about what he does, even if it's something dumb. But I hope that him and your company with him is gonna be picking up. And yeah, I mean, shoot, if I ever get married, I'll hire both you guys to MC my wedding. But then that's gonna be a shit show.
We got to keep professional because we're being hired to do it, right? So
fuck that. I'll pay you guys in alcohol to come and MC my wedding. I would expect you guys to be drunk. Shoot, we've been going for over an hour, bruh. I think BBJ can come ask you the question of the week.
Your mic's muted.
All right. Question of the week is, what is your best memory working an AGN event?
Oh, I got one for that one.
The best memory, it's hard to say because, again, over a decade of brotherhood with these guys and doing so much events, so many memories, again, one bailing that out, from jail.
That wasn't a fun one.
Oh, it wasn't fun, but the night leading to that event was fun, right? But it's memories because it brought us together as brotherhoods, right? As family. You rushing me to the hospital, that kind of like solidified our brotherhood and whatnot.
For sure.
Us going to KWON and me fucking having to fly out at the early morning.
Oh, that's right.
Couldn't get a fucking taxi. Like, no matter what taxi company, we don't have how the fuck is a taxi company not have drivers?
I remember.
Like, what the fuck? Like
guys
I
are in
was
the
stressing
phone
out so bad, dude. I was stressing out. So I like, dude, I work at fucking 6 and 7 a.m. My flight's at 5. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. How the hell am I getting to the airport?
and we
I
are
was
all
stressing
smashed.
so hard. I was stressing so hard because I had to open, and then back then I was working at Jackie's Kitchen in Alamoana. So I had to open the restaurant because I was the opening manager.
I do
I was
remember
so
that.
stressed, dude. But probably one of my most memorable events was it was Oceans. Not gonna lie, it was Oceans, and I want to say it was New Year's. Might have been New Year's. I forget exactly when it was, but again, this was when I had my long hair. And
See, this was gonna be my pick. Yep.
For those of you who don't
awesome
know,
story.
I used to have a booyah, so I had the side shave. The sides. For those of you who don't know what a booyah is, it's basically what you guys call a top knot now. So I had the cool look before all you motherfuckers out there thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So I had the top, my hair was long, and at the longest point I ever had it was down to my ass. But when I think back then when I had this event, it was down to my mid back. Maybe
it was
lower
long
back.
as shit.
And I like stop
it was
the
New
fucking
Year's
music.
It was
Stop
New Year's
the fucking
Eve.
music.
Yeah. Well, prior to that, you came and told me, like, I want to cut it. And then you asked me to do it. And I'm like, no way.
I want you to cut.
Yeah, I was like,
and
I'm
you're
not cutting your
what?
fucking hair.
What? I'm not gonna do it. I'm like, no, Dad, I want you to do it. Because back then I would let it grow for so long, and then I would cut it and I would donate it to like Lots of Love.
Yeah.
Or all these other companies that would make wigs for cancer patients. And I was like, I want you to cut it. And you're like, no, I don't want to do it. I'm like, no, I don't give a fuck. I want you to cut it.
Yeah.
So it was, I want to say it was just before midnight.
Yep.
I was like,
it was right
stop
before
the
midnight.
fucking music. I was like,
do you remember what you said though?
I was like, all you fuckers in here know who the fuck I am.
That's what it was.
Like that.
No, we both were standing on the fucking go-go stage, and you stopped the music, and then you said, how many of you know who the fuck I am? And everybody just went raw. And I'm standing there with my scissors, like, oh my God, this is gonna fucking happen.
So I was like, yeah, and I was like, I was pretty cut too. I was like, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Don KWON or KWON, and I have fucking long hair. And the reason why I do that is because I let it grow for so long, and I cut it and I donate it to companies who make cancer, wigs for cancer patients. And tonight, in front of all you motherfuckers, we're gonna do that live.
Yeah.
And I had you cut my hair
with the dull scissors. Yeah.
Like you took like 2 minutes.
Fuck yeah, bro. I had to cut it took a while. Plus your shit was thick, was like cutting a horse's tail. And I'm just like, fuck. And everybody's watching, and the music is stopped. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I had like the scissors that they would use in the office at Oceans. I'm like, fuck. I just remember when you said stop the music. How many of you know who the fuck I am? And everybody just went whoop, looking at us. I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening.
Yeah, that's probably one of my fondest memories.
That was gonna be my pick too, bro. My fondest memory is that
we had so many crazy events, but I think that is like the fondest memory because it was a historical moment. That's the first time I let a non-professional person cut my hair.
That's the first time I ever cut somebody's hair that long.
Normally I would go to like the barber shop and have them cut it, right? But nope, I'm like, fuck this. We're doing it tonight. We're doing it now because I'm drunk and it's the fucking New Year.
Yeah. And I had to beat it. And I remember like, fuck, I remember telling like Chris guys like, brah, KWON wants me to cut his hair. He's like, not. I'm like, no, for real kind. Like he's gonna do it at midnight. We're cutting his hair. He's like, no, we're not. I'm like, oh, he really wants me to do this. So I remember trying to find the scissors, and I only had that little fucking. Oh, bruh. It was
probably like this big.
Yeah, it was like the kind that they give you for elementary,
like preschool.
So you fucking stab people with. Yeah.
Oh.
That was gonna be
Good
my
times.
exact choice too, bro. That was fucking hilarious. And I remember it was always Like, yeah, me and you shared that moment for sure. That was crazy. Well, man, we're opening back up and hopefully we can get you back on the mic if you're willing. And yeah, should be soon.
Yeah,
Once we go to full capacity, I think we could do it.
I'm off on Saturdays, so it's all good with me.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. But it's still 4, man. Gotta hang that long.
Oh, you guys are still open till 4?
Yeah, we'll be open till 4.
Okay.
Actually, last week we were open till 4. So,
dude, if I can game till 4 on the weekends, I can drink till 4 on the weekends.
But keep that in mind. Like, you gotta kind of ease your way into it, because brah, if you go full force like how you were before, bruh, it'll catch up quick, dude.
That's all I know, bro. That's all I know. I remember when I would get like to the point where I was all boss already, so I would order a double crown with a chilled crown back.
Chilled crown.
Bro, I would get so dumb, bro, back there.
Yeah, don't be doing that now, bro. You know,
Halle Berry's now. It's Halle Berry's.
Halle Berry's. That's you're in Flips. Oh yeah, you and Flip always ordered that shit. You can't make that anymore. They don't have 151 anymore, right?
No. Halle Berry never had 151.
Oh, what was the 151 drink that you guys would get?
Oh,
I forget.
Fuck bombs. We had so many different drinks that would have 151 in it.
Fuck that.
But Halle Berry's is basically, it's just Hennessy, Chambord, and Coke.
Oh, that's not too bad. Well, Hennessy's kind of strong, but
yeah, but you drink it like a mini racer, right? You just drink it from the straw. Yeah. So that's what it would fuck people up.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys would always order that shit. Well, come by this Friday. We'll be there, man, and come have a drink. That would be cool.
I'm so glad everything is opening up again, man.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys book a bunch of more weddings and tell Wild Wild West I said what's up.
Will do.
Well, thanks again for coming on the show, bro. I definitely had you in mind once I had this thing plotted out. And I've been asking, and you're like, bro, I already told you I would come on. I'm like, oh yeah. Just gotta figure out a date.
In fact, you asked me like the week or two before your first show. You're like, oh, we're starting a podcast. Can I pencil you in? I was like, dude, whenever you want me, bro, I'm there. And then like 20-something shows in, I'm like, bro, this fucker could ask her one.
Yeah, Wes even hit me. I was like, bro, I can be on your show. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm trying to like, because I try to go industry and then something else and then like a fighter. Like I try to.
I remember there was one that I was so bored. I was like, I text you, I was like, put me in, coach.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, I appreciate you, man.
We still gotta pencil you in. Let me give me some time.
Yeah.
What is it now? 43 shows later, finally here.
Yeah. Hey, you made it in the first round though.
I'm part of the Cool Kids Club, guys. Yay.
But I appreciate you, bro, and I appreciate your support throughout the whole last decade and a half, and you've been around for a lot of memorable moments, and you've always supported us, Artist Groove, Chris, Taylor. You always showed us love and aloha, and you always kept us out of trouble as much as you could and out of getting beaten up or getting into fights, or you always had our back, and I always appreciate you for that. And you always have a place in our hearts since day one, man, since Venus.
Always, man. You guys have a big place in my heart too, man. We family, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Where
you invite me to the next house party, motherfucker.
Bruh, you're always invited.
No, I haven't heard anything of any of the house parties in so long. You guys just forget to message me.
We're in Kaneohe. You gotta come Kaneohe.
Hey, I live in town now. I don't live Waianae anymore. Easier
okay,
to get
perfect. That would be perfect. The fight
Plus,
parties.
We won't get a little run anymore.
Oh yeah. Oh God. On Instagram, where can people find you?
On Instagram, it is Don_K_1. My IG is a lot dedicated to food. A lot of food, a lot of because there's really no partying for me anymore, right? So, but with me coming back, maybe.
Yep. And if anybody ever needs a top-notch MC to host a wedding or any kind of event, hit him up. Go on his
Hit me up.
Instagram, slide in the DMs. All right. As for
If
us,
you're into Twitch and you game,
you got
hit me up.
Twitch?
I'm on Twitch.
What's your Twitch?
MC_Don_K_1 808. It is long as fuck. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you can battle on Twitch. That's getting pretty mainstream too, like those streaming services.
It's a fun thing, man. It's very fun. The community on Twitch it's a little different from what I'm used to, but a lot of people on there are good peeps.
Nice. And you can find me on Instagram, Thaddy Daddy High. You can find Boy Band John on Instagram as BBJ8, the letter 08. And go check out his show, 808 Scene. Go check it out on his YouTube. What's the YouTube for that? BBJ 808. Perfect. 808 Scene, his project he's been doing for years, and he just brought it back. It's showcasing local hardcore talent. And yeah, it's John's project.
Hardcore talent. You make it sound like it's porn.
Hardcore. Oh yeah. Yeah, his hardcore
Is this YouTube or Pornhub?
Fuck, that was a fail.
Go
check it out.
You change your name to Thaddy. Wait, Thaddy Daddy 808?
Yeah, hi, Thaddy Daddy. Hi. Yeah, I tricked Thaddy. You know how much shit I got for that? Like, because I have a daughter. Like, I can't be Trick Thaddy anymore.
Wait, I didn't even realize you changed your name, bro.
Bro, that was a while ago. Yeah, Trick Thaddy. Like, I'll be at like parent teacher night and like, oh, what's your Instagram? I'm like, oh shit, Trick Thaddy, Trick Thaddy. Yeah, he's long gone. Trick Thaddy's long gone. I'm way more responsible than that guy, right? Once in a while, Trick Thaddy will come back for like a night or something. I don't know.
Night. The last time you guys reopened and you got drunk.
Yeah, that was Trick Thaddy. Not a good look. And for us, you can always find us on atbpod.com, Above the Bridge Podcast on Instagram, Above the Bridge Pod on YouTube. And you can find all these videos and episodes on those platforms. Other than that, man, thanks again, brother. It means a lot for you to come on, and I'm glad we found the time to do it because, like I said, I always like having a conversation with my friends that mean a lot to me without being interrupted. And nobody can tell you to go change the music, get a drink, nothing like that. It's just me and you talking story, and I appreciate that, bro.
Appreciate it too, man. Miss you guys.
Miss you too, brother. Shakas for the camera. All right. Shout out to the Artist Groove Network. We're out. Aloha.